A miracle amid the madness. As the earthquake death toll grows in Turkey, a young child is rescued after more than 3 days buried alive. A drug-resistant strain of a potentially deadly infection has spread beyond the hospital. And will the power go out New Year's Eve? Tonight, the dire Navy prediction and how it got torpedoed.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Good evening. Dan is off tonight. I'm Bob Schieffer. With more than 35,000 people still believed buried beneath the rubble, officials said tonight that the death toll from the Turkish earthquake may eventually reach a staggering 45,000 people. Already there are more than 10,000 confirmed dead. As the hunt for the missing goes on, the government has been overwhelmed with new problems, dealing with the growing numbers of homeless, sanitation, and the threat of disease. 4 days after the earthquake, survivors are still being found, but the rescues are fewer and fewer. And the level of frustration is growing. Sweltering heat and no water may be dooming the tens of thousands of people still believed trapped. Hundreds of thousands of people are homeless, and for the most part, they're dependent on disorganized handouts of food and water. The government estimates that damages will reach tens of billions of dollars. The police have begun arresting some of the contractors whose shoddy buildings have collapsed. There is a growing threat of disease, such things as dysentery, diarrhea, and typhoid. Disinfectant sprays offer little protection against the dangers posed by thousands of dead bodies piling up, crushed sewer lines, and a lack of running water in many areas. Help continues to pour in from around the world, but there is little coordination of relief efforts. American, Egyptian, and Israeli teams have set up makeshift hospitals along with desperately needed but desperately scarce portable toilets. Some small towns have received no outside help at all. About 100 American engineers are expected to go to Turkey this weekend to study how different kinds of construction fared in the quake. They could bring back recommendations for new building codes in earthquake-prone areas of the United States. Among the survivors in Turkey, the horror of the past 4 days is giving way now to increased fears about the future. CBS News correspondent Alan Pizzi reports from Izmit.
Just as hope of finding anyone else alive was fading, another miracle. A 3-year-old girl plucked from a concrete tomb by Hungarian rescue workers. In spite of being buried for more than 3 days, by the time she got to the hospital, she was in good enough shape to talk to reporters. Almost everywhere you look, however, the scene is bitter. The UN estimates as many as 35,000 bodies are still trapped in the rubble. A few will be accorded a measure of dignity, but the time for that is fading fast. Human effort is now giving way to brute force. Mountains of smashed concrete must be moved. Miles of reinforcing steel cut. Rescue workers are exhausted, but not yet ready to quit. The Fairfax, Virginia firemen fanned out today on what they call recon missions, checking reports of possible survivors.
Two.
But they were skeptical about this one.
Okay, ask him when the last time he heard from them.
To dig or not to dig is the difficult call of search coordinator Chuck Mills.
You got to look at it and say, where are all the opportunities that the victim may have survived based on how that building collapsed and the condition of the rubble after it collapsed.
This time, the decision was to dig a little more, just in case. But the focus is turning sharply to the needs of the tens of thousands who have lost everything and have little prospect of recouping anything. Few, if any, have insurance. Government assistance is minimal at best. Administration of even the most basic aid remains chaotic. Apart from their own will to persevere, the survivors' main hope is foreign assistance. Just today, the U.S. aid agency brought in plastic sheeting, blankets, and medical supplies, enough for 10,000 people. Other countries are also kicking in, but it isn't going to be nearly enough. The strain of coping with living in the street has frayed nerves to breaking point. This fight was sparked by an argument over where garbage was being dumped. The fight ended quickly. Perhaps because everywhere they look, there are poignant reminders of how petty such problems really are. Alan Pizzi, CBS News, Izmit.
Even after earthquake survivors' physical wounds are healed, they must still deal with the enduring emotional trauma of the ordeal. We're going to have more about that a little later in the broadcast tonight. Meanwhile, there were no injuries in an earthquake that shook much of Costa Rica, along with parts of Panama and Nicaragua, early this morning. The quake was a magnitude 6.7. Since Costa Rica is prone to earthquakes, most buildings there are limited to 3 stories to guard against casualties. And on the CBS Weather Watch, forecasters say that Tropical Storm Brett off the coast of Mexico is likely to become the first full-fledged hurricane of the season overnight. Hurricane watches and tropical storm warnings are up. The Texas coastal residents are advised to monitor the storm. And waiting in the wings is Tropical Storm Cindy, which is gaining strength in the far eastern Atlantic after passing by the Cape Verde Islands. One of the nightmare scenarios feared most by federal disease control experts may be coming true. A super strong bacterial infection that usually exists only in hospitals may now be on the loose outside. It has killed 4 children and infected 200 other people. We have a report tonight from Elizabeth Callahan.
It's one of the most widespread germs we live with, Staphylococcus, or staph. Hospital patients often become infected with it, but it's generally treated with antibiotics. Now, public health officials in the Midwest are facing an emerging problem with staph. A drug-resistant strain has officially left the hospital and is infecting people in the general community.
We want to emphasize that for parents, there's really no cause for panic.
According to a report today from the Centers for Disease Control, in the past 3 years, more than 200 people in Minnesota and North Dakota have become sick from staph infections. 4 children have died, a 7-year-old black girl and a 13-year-old white girl from Minnesota, and a 16-month-old Native American girl and a 12-month-old white boy from North Dakota. The children were nowhere near any hospitals and had no contact with anyone who was.
We're very concerned about these cases, but we also know that this is rare.
Still, the report is a concern to infectious disease specialists who say it's another sign of how often antibiotics fail and how quickly the bacteria are evolving to resist them.
Why it's changing, we don't know, except that we can say that over the years, this organism has successfully adapted to the measures that we've taken to try to control it.
When penicillin was developed in the 1940s, it wiped out the majority of staph infections. Now the antibiotic is almost never used to treat staph because it no longer works.
One would assume that these changes are in response to our widespread use of antibiotics and perhaps our overuse of antibiotics.
There still are a few antibiotics that will wipe out even drug-resistant strains of staph. One, called vancomycin, may have helped the 4 infected children if used in time. But even that drug is losing its power, doctors say, and it's just a matter of time until it doesn't work at all. Bob?
Thank you, Elizabeth. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, a dire prediction for the arrival of Y2K has been short-circuited. Why so many Japanese children in need of homes are not likely to get them. And the story of how real teamwork beat the odds.
Okay, but
This old mop makes me shake.
That old vacuum makes me ache. This old rag drags me down.
This box rocks the radical new Swiffer Sweeper. So simple to assemble.
And it's built to last.
Swiffer, now I'm sliding,
Sweeping and a gliding.
Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Swiffer cloths use electrostatic action and lift and lock pockets to attract and trap hair, crumbs, and common allergens. Don't suffer. Swiffer!
Well, I'll be a Swiffer Sweeper.
Attracting and a trapping,
A wiping and a swiping.
Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
Just toss the cloth and all that dirt goes with it.
Here comes Swiffer Sweeper.
When Swiffer's the one, consider it done. In the household cleaner's aisle.
Got dirty sweat stains? Spray and Wash Advanced Stain Care penetrates faster than Shout and powers out those dirty sweat stains. See? So go ahead and
let them go with Spray and Wash.
Have you tried these yet? Specialized blends from one a day. Not just herbs. Herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like memory. Have you seen my keys? Where are the keys? 83. And energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even tension and mood. Help your body help itself with one-a-day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
A big Y2K problem has suddenly surfaced around the nation, and a lot of cities are not at all pleased. It isn't the millennium bug, but an official report naming cities that are supposedly ripe for Y2K disasters. Diana Olick has our report.
Fantasy is usually welcome at Florida's theme parks, but when the U.S. Navy recently posted a study on its website claiming the lights could go out in Disney World when the clock strikes the year 2000, Orlando city officials weren't amused.
We've taken great strides, really, in making progress towards this Y2K readiness.
The city claims its utilities are Y2K compliant. That is, it has fixed any computer programs that might not recognize the year 2000 and therefore malfunction. They even launched an ad campaign saying as much.
Are you ready for the year 2000? OUC is, in about 1,000 different ways.
And when Orlando officials got this letter from the Navy asking if the city will be Y2K compliant, their reply was a resounding yes.
Oh, believe me, we're ready.
Still, Orlando and all these other cities wound up in a Navy study citing possible Y2K trouble with water and power services. A surprise to many city officials like Ramon Miguez in Dallas.
We wouldn't miss a beat. Not City of Dallas. We wouldn't miss a beat.
Even the Navy researcher who conducted the study told CBS News almost all the cities he contacted said they were compliant. But the study ended up on the Navy's website, where it was picked up by a Y2K activist and before long hit newspapers and radio stations nationwide.
Someone has looked at a very old edition of this database and they've extrapolated from it dramatically, because that isn't what it said, that isn't what it means, and oh, by the way, that isn't where it is now.
The Navy removed the study from its website just 2 weeks ago for fear the data might be misinterpreted. The Navy now says it agrees with a recent report from the White House Committee on Y2K, which said any national electrical failures are highly unlikely. Apparently, it was just human error that caused this latest scare. Diana Olick, CBS News, Washington.
The California State Assembly has approved a bill to restrict the manufacture and sale of cheap, accident-prone handguns, the ones known as Saturday Night Specials. The law would require that all handguns pass firing and drop safety tests. Final approval is still required by the California Senate. Near Philadelphia today, the police captured an escaped quadruple murderer who spent 18 days on the run. Norman Johnson was found hiding in some bushes far from the western Pennsylvania prison he escaped from. He was convicted in 1980 of killing 4 teenagers to cover up a family burglary ring. Next on the CBS Evening News, meet some Californians who know what it's like to be buried alive in an earthquake.
Hi, I have a question about buying stock. What's the difference between a market order and a limit order? Hello? Excuse me.
When you have an investment question, does your online brokerage have anybody there to answer it? We do.
We're picking up our CEO. We swerved off the road and boom, the airbags go off.
There was a deer.
I never saw it.
Seconds later, an OnStar advisor calls and says, I just got a signal, your airbags went off, should I send an ambulance?
We were fine, but she called for a tow truck and a limo.
Good thing I called OnStar.
OnStar called us.
Oh, right.
OnStar. During the OnStar Summer of Savings, get the OnStar phone-based system and installation at no extra charge when you prepay for a year of service. Call 1-800-OnStar-7.
We're gonna change your mind about coloring your gray with the natural look of Just for Men.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men. No one can tell with Just for Men.
Just for Men penetrates hair deep inside where natural color begins. Simply apply, and in 5 minutes, rinse. Gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men.
My business runs on long hours and Aleve. I can't settle for those pain relievers that quit too soon. Just 2 Aleve are strong enough to work all day. I used to need 8 Tylenol to do that. There's a tool for every job. For tough pain, it's Aleve.
Well, it's a very exclusive club that most people would rather not join. People who know how victims trapped and rescued from the wreckage of the Turkey earthquake are likely to feel for years to come. These people know because they've been through it in California. Sandra Hughes has our report.
As survivors continue to be pulled from the rubble in Turkey, their pain is felt a world away.
There's no words to describe your feelings or my compassion for those people.
But Jerry Prezioso has more than compassion for the victims of the Turkish quake. He has some advice.
You got to have faith.
That's what he credits with getting him through the 1994 Northridge, California earthquake. He was rescued after being buried alive for 6 hours underneath the Meadows apartment building where 16 people died.
When they came in, all they could see is my knees down. And when they lifted up, they started to pull. And I told them to stop because of the nails. And they had to cut. I'm sorry.
The memories are vivid and painful.
Some individuals will recover within a few weeks, some may recover in months, some it may take years, and some may never recover. For some individuals, this may be a pivotal event in their life that will change their life from then on.
One of Prezioso's strongest memories is of the firefighter who rescued him.
There were 2 floors of building that were pinned across his midsection and cutting, making it difficult to breathe.
On the 5th anniversary of the quake, Mike Henry was presented with a Heroes Award, and Jerry was there.
A firefighter by the name of Mike Henry did not care that he was risking his life. He went in there and he saved Jerry.
Oh yes, every day is a gift.
A gift that Jerry Prezioso says he never takes for granted.
Go, baby, go!
After surviving on faith and a little luck, he does what he likes best, betting on the odds. And not surprisingly, he usually wins.
Look at that.
Sandra Hughes, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The fastest bird on Earth, the peregrine falcon, was officially taken off the endangered species list today. Pesticides, especially DDT, brought the peregrine falcon to near extinction in the United States in the 1970s. And we have some more animals in the news. In China, a 15-year-old giant panda has become the first in history to give birth to triplets in captivity. The tiny panda babies weigh less than 5 ounces each. Still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, someone wants to adopt these abandoned children. So why are they still being forced to grow up without parents?
If it's real chicken your dog wants, it's Prime you want. Because high-quality chicken is the primary ingredient in Pedigree Prime. Dry dog food has finally reached its prime.
Allergies knocking you flat? Try non-drowsy Allegra. Only Allegra has fexofenadine. For people 12 and over, ask your doctor or pharmacist for more information. Side effects are low and may include drowsiness, cold or flu, nausea, or menstrual pain. Allegra, so you can enjoy the world around you.
You heard about this new Resolve fabric refresher? It not only removes the toughest odors safely and permanently, it dries faster than the leading brand. Why wait? New quick-drying Resolve fabric refresher.
Finally, a polished brass finish that holds up under siege. New brilliance for the kitchen. From Delta, it's guaranteed to shine for life. Delta, the faucet.
One day you'll be able to say, I love you. One day he won't need to hold your hand. One day you won't be his best girl. And before you know it, He'll be off to college. I mean, look at him with that little pencil. Can't you get him a computer, a printer, something? He's such a cute kid. Thank you.
Get everything for back to school. Come into Office Depot. Low prices every day.
A revealing document has just come to light, a 1964 message to President Johnson from Fidel Castro, which was relayed by an American journalist. In the document, Castro offers to help Johnson win the November election. Says Castro, if the president feels it necessary to make bellicose statements about Cuba or even to take hostile action, I shall understand and not take any serious retaliatory action. Castro said he wanted Johnson to win because he'd seen, quote, how Republicans use Cuba as a weapon against Democrats. In Japan, another strange story. A cultural barrier is standing in the way of happiness for thousands of children. CBS News Tokyo correspondent Barry Peterson has our report.
8-year-old Mayu longs to be someone's daughter. Abandoned by her mother, she is the darling of a foster family who visit often, take her to their home, and want to adopt her as their own. We make dolls when we're together, she says. But this is Japan. Her grandmother never visits but will not approve the adoption. Samayu will likely live at this children's home until she's 18. In Japan, explains Children's Home Director Minoru Katoda, people feel it is shameful to ask someone else to look after your children. So children end up in state-funded homes because people are more concerned about a loss of face than a child losing the chance for a normal life. Thousands of Japanese children are caught in this catch-22 with relatives who don't want them but won't let strangers adopt them. So while in the United States, the number of adoptions each year is more than 60,000, here in Japan, it's more like 600. Consider the case of Hiroshi and Yoshiko Watanabe and the two foster children they would love to adopt.
We wanted to experience as a father and mother.
Their natural father doesn't want them, but he won't allow adoption because, he says, he doesn't have the courage to admit to society that he can't take care of his own children. And the Watanabes feel they can't tell many of their friends their true intentions, that they're thinking of adoption. In America, says Yoshiko, if you adopt, the people around you try and help. In Japan, neighbors give you a strange look. We hesitate to tell people we're trying to adopt these children. The Watanabe children are luckier than most. They, at least, are living with their foster parents. But Children's Home Director Minoru Katoda sees no quick end to Japan's prejudice against adoption. He gives children everything he can, but even he can't give them the one thing adoption could, a parent's love. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Tokyo.
And coming up next, second chances for a city and some very special people who call it home.
Staples presents the Staples Coach of the Week program. It's our salute to leaders on the field and in the classroom. And it's your chance to win $5,000 in school supplies for your school, plus a visit from your local NFL head coach. To enter, visit a Staples near you. Register at www.staples.com or send your entry to Staples Coach of the Week. Watch NFL Today Sundays on CBS for winners.
It's barbecue season, the busiest time of the year for your deck, which is why you should protect it with Thompson's Wood Protector. Nothing we make works harder, longer. For rain, sun, mildew, or low-flying meat, Thompson's Wood Protector, it never takes a day off.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil Liquid Gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil Liquid Gels, stronger than pain.
Every kid knows if you want to make the big leagues, you better eat your Wheaties. And every dad should know whole grain Wheaties may help prevent cancer. Numerous studies confirm a low-fat diet rich in whole grain foods like Wheaties may reduce the risk of certain cancers. So when he does make the big leagues, you'll be in the front row. 100% whole grain Wheaties, a champion in the fight against cancer.
When it comes to your health, never compromise, even when choosing a laxative. You need one that's strong enough to work overnight, but also gentle. Try doctor-recommended Dulcolax. It's both strong and gentle. It even has a special comfort coating to protect your stomach. In fact, doctors recommend Dulcolax most, more than Correctol and Senecot combined. Don't compromise. Get strong, get gentle, get doctor-recommended Dulcolax. And for strong and gentle relief in minutes, get Dulcolax suppositories.
Would you believe us if we told you police sell thousands of guns and assault weapons to gun dealers? Believe it. Eye on America, Monday on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Pro football officially returns to Cleveland tomorrow with the debut there of a brand new expansion team with a very familiar name. The team includes at least one player who knows a lot about winning against a powerful opponent. Bob McNamara has his story.
2, 3.
They have opened a new stadium, painted the field, paraded through downtown, practiced twice a day. And now, like the days when Dante Lavelli starred here, pro football has come back to Cleveland.
Well, it's a rejuvenation for me. I mean, it's a second birth.
For some in this town, 3 years without a pro football team seemed a lifetime. But for a player whose life work is the game, his own return after almost 2 years away from football is a story and courage that goes even beyond his own comeback.
You're fighting life and death, man.
The comeback that Browns linebacker Chris Spielman talks of is not his own, but his wife's. And when Stephanie Spielman underwent breast cancer surgery just over a year ago, her husband took last season off to care for her and their 2 children.
I couldn't have done it without him. It was the best decision he ever could have made for me and our family.
For Spielman, even a career-threatening neck injury was nothing compared to his wife's cancer crisis.
So we chose to fight, man. You have 2 choices. You either fight or fold. And in my house, we're fighting.
When chemotherapy caused Stephanie's hair to disappear, Spielman shaved his head and started a cancer fund.
And we've raised almost $500,000 to that fund now. And that's going to be a lifetime goal for us, is to raise money for research.
Spielman is relieved doctors say his wife is cancer-free. But he knows his game and life have no guarantees.
God gave me another chance to play football, and he gave my wife life. And we don't take anything for granted. We just live each day.
For decades, in grainy old photos, Cleveland has tracked its football history and its legends. And while Chris Spielman could someday be added to the list of heroes here, he already is, where it matters most. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Cleveland.
And that's the news. Sunday on Face the Nation, how much of a candidate's past is fair game when he or she is running for president? We'll hear from a panel of political veterans. For Dan Rather, this is Bob Schieffer, CBS News in New York. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
If you want to know who really wields power in Washington, look no further. You found him. Tommy Boggs, the king of the lobbyists. Sunday on 60 Minutes.
Feeding your kids a health surprise tomorrow on Saturday morning. Experience CBS News.
Just ahead on News Channel 5, incredible forest fires lit up the night sky.